was,
I mean, yes and no.
we also we're gonna give away tickets to it too, so if you get like, oh hey, who remembers what date the,
Okay.
Realtors, great, you get a ticket, come, go see. Cool, go see ours.
Oh, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, because we are gonna, I mean, we get to roll in to actually give away tickets, throughout the month leading up to the event.
Yeah.
Right, that's the event, because then, free ticket.
Exactly. Hey, do you have the 28th off?
What? Sorry,
Do you have the 28th off?
March?
Marina, have you met my husband?
No, I have not.
This is my husband.
Sorry, I was
Rob.
making snarky remarks. and
Oh, you know
it
what?
was. I'm
That
not.
is the best way to get to know me, is snarky remarks.
So she
We will try
is
right away.
over the events committee.
Okay, nice.
Yes,
I am working on my license.
Oh, fun.
It's gonna be my part-time.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Part-time
my
bench
cough.
boy. And they can do all the
When he's
hard
sitting
work.
in a hotel room, he can make
Do
phone
it,
calls.
do it. I need one.
When I have a client that I don't really want to talk to, he can go.
You know what? I love that though, because you get a little burnt out. You're like, here, you're gonna soften the blow here.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm on call on the 20th, so
What do you do right now?
I'm
Oh, that's right, you did mention it, he's an airline pilot, or it was,
SkyWest.
But he flies for American United, Delta, and Alaska.
I know so many Delta pilots, I know like 3 or 4 Delta pilots.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good
Well, that's
time.
because there's a big hub here.
Yeah.
Delta.
Makes sense. It does make sense. Okay. Yes, well,
It's going to be very quiet.
it'll be quiet, but we're gonna make everybody move on up.
No.
Yeah, we're not doing, no back.
I'm kidding.
Get up here. You don't need to make room for everybody else.
Are you doing that here? I'm doing team meeting today. Yeah. And I'm doing, I'm on the events committee, and I'm also on the KW Cares.
So much fun.
I'm overextending myself
Do you need any help?
with
Everything.
I'm gonna use like a shoulder massage.
I'm pretty good at it, I know.
What good are you?
I know.
crazy.
I know it's really close, but if you do need anything help-wise for the casino chocolate.
I'm actually, that's the one event I want. The church that we go to, I'm on the helping out with the wedding ministry, and we have an all-day long event on the 21st. And originally, this was gonna be the 21st, and then we moved it to the 28th. But I was just like, it's too, I have too much to do on that event, so I bowed out of helping on that, but
Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
I'll be helping with other stuff. And we're kind of, this year, we're doing, because Marita's also on both committees with me. So we're kind of, it's like a tag team between us and the KW Cares, just
Yeah. I feel like that almost makes it
combine
easier.
a little bit, so that we can talk about the events and doing stuff, so, yeah.
Whereabouts in Idaho are you? I can't remember.
Preston.
Okay, that's
So
right.
not too far up there,
No,
just jump, skip, and a hop over the board.
just far enough though. You gotta come down through Logan. Is that the way you come?
Sometimes I go through Tremont and then I don't want to go again, but.
Right.
Sardine Canyon.
Yeah. Good waited in the weather,
Sardine's the worst.
Every time I make the drive down here, I was like, why couldn't I just have lived in Malad? Malad would make this so much easier.
Right? Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you want me to go find
Good morning, how are you, Crystal? Good. At your photo shoot day go out tomorrow.
Hi, how are you?
Decent. And yourself?
Good.
Like 1 week a month, I'm there. And then other times, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did text me and I did send him the link.
Yeah, lots of mountain biking. Yeah, it's nice. But we did get snow last week.
If not, I'll do them every other.
Yeah, actually.
It snowed there too, I like looked out the window and it was like, not in our neighborhood or anything, yeah. And then the snow, like a couple hours later, it was gone.
Oh, McKay and Matea, I didn't.
It's been cold, like in the 30s.
I've not seen my slide
Yeah,
up
and then all of a
yet.
sudden now this week.
This one? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting a little clock right here. Oh, we've got an Apple Watch, but just so.
Did that look at me? Like a house? Oh,
And
yeah, oh, that's good.
is that the downstairs or the upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know they're doing that.
I did test these.
I just got this one because my other one was just starting to go pretty slow. I don't know what this is, but I went over to Best Buy and this one was like, $1,500. It was only $8.
And both of them are.
I don't know. I don't have any
Oh, yeah.
omnibus.
I used it yet.
Yeah.
I've come back.
Yeah.
And then probably after your home, you got.
Yeah. Well, no, just one, but I do put this in my giant monitor at home and have my own computer because I hate typing on this.
Do they do yoga?
No, I people share this folder. I like to carry this folder around.
Oh, what's this?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, because they're,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to hold two screens. I tried it, but my brain doesn't work that way.
I felt bad. Yeah, I can't.
How
I
about
do
you,
dapper
Slippery?
dog, child pose.
Nice. That's what I can do, I'm like,
I know, I did it.
I'm so stiff.
I,
Hi. Oh, good. And you?
It's
It's so funny to me when people start. I like this like big void right here.
I know, come up to the front,
Yeah.
everyone.
We're not scary.
No, we're not.
No, back. No, it's, I mean, it still hurts, but it's fine. She's just. But I'm tired of arguing with my doctor. You don't wanna say close?
Yes.
Well.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Sure.
Oh, this is the. What is this?
I actually got used to doing following this morning. I was like, hello. I thought it was gonna be like 6 hours.
Yeah, or 8.
Hi.
For a couple days.
Yeah, yeah.
He did get Robin's.
You tested for back here?
Better?
A little more.
Okay,
A little
okay.
bit more.
How about this? Because it's all the way up. So hopefully that's enough. We're good? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we
Okay,
go.
well, welcome to team meeting today. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Melanie Lilyquist, and I am officially over on the Brickyard side of Utah Realtors, but been a realtor for 26 years now. And Liza said, hey, will you do this today since they're all back in Atlanta having fun? So here you go, you guys have me.
Yay!
You're fine.
Yay!
Okay, so let's get to the scan. Sign in for team meeting, please.
Fill the front, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fill
come
the
up
front.
here,
So
everyone.
about you.
Come sit down.
Come
Keep coming.
Come on down.
Okay, did everyone get their QR code?
Everybody signed in?
No.
Okay, we'll keep it.
Okay,
Pull out your cameras.
come on.
Are we good to
10,
switch?
9.
Feel like we need to have the little salt thing.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the days of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
like that.
Okay, are we good? Moving on?
Okay,
Okay.
ready, steady, go.
Perfect.
In a second. One more second. Okay.
Share the love. I'm gonna start this today because last week I really had an awful week. And there are some staff members and team leaders in here that know that it was a really awful week for me. My poor husband up here also knows it was pretty awful. So I just want to thank Kenzie for helping me out. I want to thank Jess for helping me calm down. And I want to thank Josh for keeping me accountable even though it threw me off the ledge.
It's okay.
We can do hard things, okay? And it's all right. So big high five from Josh this morning, and I just totally appreciate you. With that being said, anybody else want to share some gratitude?
Yes, they do.
Come on, don't be shy. Okay.
Need to thank Jeff for holding a couple of open houses. Jewett for me, Jeff Jewett, for holding a couple open houses for me this past week. I really appreciate it. He got caught in a snowstorm and still held it open, so he is the man.
And I would like to thank Lee for letting me do those open houses. Just great to get the experience and actually met a new client at one of them during the snowstorm.
Anybody else want to share some gratitude? Okay,
So, lots of gratitude for just the organization in general. I'm still trying to figure out people's names and what's going on and heck, how to open the door in the computer sometimes. But everybody's just been very, very grateful and very friendly and open and sharing. And so it's awesome to be here. So gratitude for this organization.
KW does this little event called Family Reunion in Atlanta, and we got to have the things spread through, but today they did the inspirational moment, and everything from the people in Jamaica that were devastated by the hurricane 6 months ago, KW was there, people in the hill country where everything was wiped out, KW was there, people, fellow Asian that 4 hours out, cut his arm off almost, and talked about how in the darkest moments, KW, the motto, God first, then family, then business, really came through. And the family reunion thing was all about resilience, what you do when you're scared. And the big takeaway is you can't be brave unless you're scared. And there's a whole lot of uncertainty, but there's a whole lot of models to help you get through the uncertain times.
So I want to thank Broker D for always being there to answer all questions about contracts. So thank you.
And I want to thank Tony for so wonderfully and surprisingly setting me up for the caregiver care sheet that we all have in front of us. I have a goal that both offices will be 100% donors, whether that's $5 a closing or whatever you can afford. But fill out that sheet in front of you. Let's get that turned in, because the guy who almost lost his arm, or the storm that happened in Jamaica, could easily happen here in Utah. And we need to make sure we're taking care of everybody, and does. And then I also want to thank Corey Miner and Cammie Edelson yesterday. They helped me stage every empty office we had at the Brickyard office, and I appreciated that. So no more storage units. And by the way, if you ever move out of an office, take your stuff. Sorry.
I'm going to piggyback on one thing that Lee said. I've only been at KW now for about 1.5 years, and I didn't realize when I onboarded on about KW Cares. Started, just a little bit after that I went ahead and signed up for it. But the last brokerage I was with, we had also had a foundation, and it was more for the charitable side of things, not helping our own agents. So, I mean, you get both with it. But another good thing that I like to do is when I go on a listing appointment, I always tell the sellers that a portion of my commission goes to charity. They don't have to know what charity, it's just a portion of my commission goes to help our community. So those of you that are on the fence about doing it, it doesn't matter what the dollar amount is, it just matters that we're all in this together. And you could have a fellow agent sitting next to you that needs help right now that we don't know about. So keep your eyes and ears open, and let's help everybody else out. But how awesome would it be if we knew that every single person was actually donating and helping one another? When I went to family reunion last year, my eyes were so open, I was just amazed. That's kind of when I really found out about what KW Cares was, and realizing, what they did with the fires in California and what had happened back on the East Coast with all of the flooding, and just the stories that were told. I mean, if you're new here and you've never been to family reunion, I really wish I could have been there this week, but gosh, plan for it. And you can even have money set aside, huh?
Yes.
From every commission check to go towards paying for family reunion next year. So talk to one of the staff if that's something that you'd like to do. But let's get involved. Let's show the rest of KW that Utah and our Utah region that we're strong together.
And you guys can always tell Michelle or Corey if they're your transaction coordinators if you want if you get a bigger commission and you're like, I want to donate more to KW Cares, just let them know and they can put that in the commission request as well.
And you can always put a hold on it. If you say you only want to donate $500 a year, once you hit your 500, you can always have that stopped and restart next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to our new agents, guests, and visitors. If you are a new agent, guest or visitor, would you raise your hand?
Oh, we will introduce you soon. But I don't know if we
No other newbies here today, huh? Oh, we have one in the back.
Travis needs to
Wait.
introduce himself over there. He's my guy.
I just bought you lunch. That's why I'm here.
We appreciate it.
And I'm here a couple times a month, but I'm Olivia with Miller Most Inspectors. Not buy you lunch, but I will be buying you lunch next month.
Is that all? All right, quick one, we're moving forward. Okay, March team meetings, Brickyard. If you have a hard time trying to remember, this is gonna be the good way to remember, okay? Every odd month is at Brickyard. We are the oddballs, okay? Every even month is here in Fort Union because you guys are all even keel.
Yes.
But you guys aren't odd, we love you guys.
We love to be odd and goofy.
But
It's fine.
that's a good reminder.
Yes.
And also with that, I'm gonna pipe in, Brickyard, everybody's kind of complaining about the parking. You are now able to park underneath the garage for free. They don't need any key cards or whatever, so there's no excuse now to, you don't have to walk across the street, so now you can park in the garage.
Perfect. And the cultural icon, I don't see him here. Shoot, he's a great guy. It is Paul Montgomery.
He's a family reunion.
Is he a family reunion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He could hold it for a
Well,
week.
he's great. Sorry, Becky.
What was I doing?
Oh, I thought you were taking a picture.
Oh, I was, thank you.
Okay, up next, Chocolate Royale. This is the newest KW event. It's going to be a combo of the Death by Chocolate and casino night. So Muna, come on up and talk about it.
Hi, good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name's Yamuna, Muna for short. I've been around for quite some time, like 17 years now, I think, yeah, with KW. And I'm just so excited to be working on these events through the year, and our committee is amazing, and we are just having so much fun planning this, so I really am excited to come up here and talk about it. So who knows anything about goodwill marketing? Anybody know what goodwill marketing is?
No.
So we're just on this subject of our charities that we support, and just bringing goodwill into our communities as community leaders, and that is what we are. We're helping a lot of people out here, and this is another way that we can kind of extend the reach that we have to help another underserved part of our community, and that's through the Utah Parent Center, and that's a charity that we're going to be supporting with this event. And they are a resource center for families with kids with disabilities and other, healthcare needs. Probably one of the most underserved part of our community. And so everything that we're going to be, making off of this event is going to go directly to them, all of the proceeds. So it's a great way for you to get out and talk to your database, invite your database, and show them what kind of a community leader you are, and how much you support this community, and really ingrain yourself into it. So we are, it's going to be on Saturday, March 28th, 6 to 10 p.m. at the Ballard in Draper. If you haven't been to the Ballard, this is going to be a big treat. It's a beautiful, beautiful event space. It's going to be really impressive for your clients to come to it. We're going to really make it look great, and have a good event. So it's going to be casino games. The casino games are going to be playing for chips, and then we're going to turn our chips in at the end of the night for raffle prizes. We are looking for other, sponsors to bring in some raffle prizes, or if you yourself want to put together a great gift basket, that's another great way to, kind of bring your name up in the event and impress your clients and show off to them, how much of a good community leader you are. So RSVP as soon as possible, because once we do fill up, we do have a big event space, so we're going to have I think like 400 to 500 people is what our limit is, so once we fill up, we fill up, but we also are doing, if you get, I think it was 10 or 20, we'll have to check with Aubrey, but if you're gonna be buying more tickets, then you do get a free ticket on that event as well.
I think it's 20.
It's 20, yeah, so if you buy 20 tickets, you will get a free ticket for yourself.
And one thing I'll add on that, so if you RSVP, and you say you're gonna bring 10 people, there's no give backs. So if you're like, I actually am only gonna need 8 tickets, you're gonna have to sell those other 2 tickets to another agent. We can't, because we're planning on food and all that, so no give backs on those.
Thank you.
Anybody have something to say?
Oh, me.
Come, I love this.
It is, that was the sprint. So a couple of things, we're 30 days out on this. So this would be the time everybody needs to get on the phone and start calling their sphere of influence to invite them. My question is, do we have a design of an email that also can be sent through command to our databases? Has that been designed?
Yes, we do, and that will be sent out along with a couple of scripts too that you can use when you're calling your database. We have, we put together 2 scripts. One, if you are going to be paying for your client's ticket, and the second script if you are going to be asking your client to buy their own ticket.
Okay. And so when should we expect those, Muna? Is that this week?
Yes, absolutely this week. We
Thank
can get
you.
those up today or tomorrow. Okay, any other questions?
How do we describe what it's like to our clients? Like we're calling them, how are we describing this event?
Yeah, so in the scripts, we do have a description of what the event is. That's a great question. And the way
Is it just roulette?
We're gonna have blackjack tables, roulette, a high stakes poker room as well. So it's just gonna be all casino prizes with the $20. Each of the tickets will come with $20 in casino plays.
Above the $20, do they participate in it, bring
Yeah,
money
if
in
they-
for things, or?
Absolutely, good question. So if they want to buy in, if they lose all of their chips and they want to keep playing the games, then they can just make a donation, and with that donation, they get more chips in play.
One person did have a question, if their people don't want to gamble, they just want the chocolate and stuff, they can just immediately turn in their tickets or their chips for the tickets.
Exactly. So if your clients are not interested in the casino games and they're just there for the chocolate stations and, for the time to spend with you, then they can just turn in their chips for the raffle tickets.
It's a really fun date night for them. This event is, you'd be amazed at how many people will, one, it's charity, but 2, it's upscale, evening with your spouse or significant other. Your people will love coming.
And it's a much more, kind of intimate event, so you get a lot more face time with your clients. Because a lot of the events that we're having throughout the year, it's gonna be big family, events. The face time with your clients one-on-one can be a little more scattered at some of those other events that we're planning for the rest of the year. So this one's a little bit more intimate. You get to have, better conversations, spend a little bit more one-on-one time with them.
Is this 21 and up or 18 up?
It is 21 and up.
So is there gonna be liquor? Is there gonna be, we've had our Death by Chocolate before. We've brought our favorite chocolates. That's been a request. Are we gonna fill it out and make it like that, or are you gonna just have a couple of chocolate fountains?
We do have some sponsorship opportunities, and that's what we're going to call it. So if you do have chocolates that you're wanting to contribute, put your own logo, put your name on there, then you are absolutely welcome to bring your chocolates. We'll have places that you can set those up, and we'll be sending information about that out this week as well. Okay?
Sweet.
Okay, thank you.
How many in here are new agents? Newer agents, less than a year? Raise your hands high. For those of you that are just kind of starting out on this, your databases may not be that large. Reach out to, if you've got lenders that you want to work with, your title company that you want to work with, home inspectors, whomever. don't just concentrate on somebody you're gonna sell a house to, but this is a great way to thank those that are kind of on your team, and let them and their spouses, have a great night out. So just kind of think outside the box. Or if you have a family member that's like, what are you doing? You know what? Why'd you go into real estate? Well, hey, come to this event. I'll show you why.
Oh, I have one more thing to add too. So, thank you. So we are also looking for a few more sponsorship opportunities for table sponsors. So I would love for you to really think through your database. Any of your clients, friends, family who own businesses, local businesses, and would like to get a little bit more exposure. We do have some great sponsorship opportunities for them. It's a great way to bring value to those people that you know.
And I know in
I don't need a mic. What's the cost of sponsoring the table?
So we do have sponsorship opportunities from $300 on up to $1,000.
Thank you.
And just so everybody knows, we've always done like the preferred partners. This year we are reaching out to the preferred partners first, and then it's being opened up to other vendors that you know. So that's where they're at now. They've reached out to the preferred partners, and so we're moving forward with other vendors can come as well. So you have a question?
Yeah, are we hiring someone to run the tables, or are we volunteering?
No, we have a company that's going to be, providing the
dealers and whatnot.
Dealers, yeah, absolutely. And we'll have, I think we're looking at like 18 to 20 blackjack tables, a couple of craps tables, high stakes poker room. We've got a chuck-a-luck table that we've ordered too. So it's gonna be a lot of really fun, fun things going on.
And by doing that, we end up very professionally done, which your
Yeah.
clients will appreciate a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have some, some pictures of the event space too that we can share just so you can take a look and see what your clients are going to be experiencing. The place is very impressive. It's beautiful. We're gonna have nice big, decorations everywhere. So it's a great event to invite your database to. They'll be happy they came.
I have one more question. What exactly is high stakes poker?
Well, so we're working through, so it'll be a poker room, so you'd have to do a donation. We're thinking about $100 donation in order to, buy into the poker room.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a little bit more limited, a little bit more exclusive in that room, but it's a beautiful.
So not everybody wants to be there.
Yeah, not everybody wants to be there, yeah, and it's set, it's kind of set aside, it's in one room, but it'll be really fun and exciting to just watch that game play out. Sweet.
Last year, Brickyard, we put on a golf tournament, and our our charity that we were doing it for was the Lionheart Gift Foundation. I don't know how many of you know who they are, but they help the local first responders and military. This past Saturday, they put on their big winter gala, and it was also a casino night. So my husband and I got to see firsthand kind of how the whole casino night thing runs, and it was so much fun, and everybody was just having a ball, and they did the same thing. They turned the tickets into putting them into the raffle prizes and whatnot. But just so you guys know, Keller Williams, we were represented there, and we were the second highest donation for all of last year for Lionheart. So give your guys big old hands. The golf tournament raised a little over $10,000 for that charity. So that just shows you what we can do with this and helping others out. So, okay, moving on to the next. Broker Dave.
I usually get to pawn this off on Lindsay, but
Not today.
she gets to go. Anyway. I'm here to talk about my favorite stuff, lawsuits! Yay! I'm going through all the different lawsuits in the Salt Lake Valley and in Utah. What is the number one most complained of offense in a lawsuit that involves a real estate agent?
Lack of disclosure.
Pardon me?
Lack of disclosure.
That's pretty good.
Unethical.
Unethical.
Compensation.
Signatures after the fact.
Not turning things in, no. Fiduciary duties, guys, fiduciary duties. I mean, everything rolls back to fiduciary duties. When you enter into an agreement to represent somebody, you owe them fiduciary duties. What are those? Val? Karen?
So a fiduciary duty is the responsibility to act in your client's best interest rather than your own.
Okay. Client's best interest above all others, right? Okay. Loyalty, full disclosure, confidentiality, and all those kind of things. What I'm finding right now is represent your client's best interest above all others. How can you do that if you are the all others? Can you buy your own listing?
No.
Yeah, but you have to,
Yes, well,
delist it.
no, you have to,
You can't
I represent
look at the
yourself.
experience we've got in this room, and we've got a debate going. Okay? No, you cannot. You cannot buy your own listing. You cannot represent the best interest of your fiduciary above all others if you are the all others. You can resign as being a fiduciary, resign your relationship with the seller, explain to them, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you and I first met and talked about listing your property, you know I invest in properties. I've got some partners. We invest in properties, things like that. Your property didn't match what my partnerships generally look for. But some of the things you've been telling me as we've worked together leads me to believe that your property may fit into it. But before I go down that road, you've got a choice to make. We can either resign, end our relationship. I can refer you to another agent. You could find one of your own. In which case, at that point in time, I'd like to talk to you as a buyer for your property. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, I'm going to take your property off of my prospective list, and we're going to go find you a buyer. Does that make sense? Without that choice, folks, that's a fiduciary duty conversation. Fiduciary duty conversation is also not warning them of risks. Adala is in a situation where she's doing a great job getting her buyers a property. They are not financeable right now. There's a seller finance situation going on the other side. What are the risks for a seller financing with an underlying loan?
You want to sell?
Okay, so that's what we've been talking about is for us to do our duty, we need to just explain those things. People can make stupid decisions. But if they make stupid decisions based on partial information because you didn't tell them, that's a breach of fiduciary duty, and that's a lawsuit. Isn't that fun? Welcome to my world. Guys, another thing, you want me to cover just a little bit of what we talked about?
You do it.
Okay.
Go, take it.
It's your moment.
I love this. I asked Jess, can I? Okay, so what does the word required mean?
It has to be
You
done.
have to do it.
It has to be there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for you guys to turn in and submit a file to the office and me send you a note back saying, hey, you didn't include this one that right next to it says required, it's kind of dumb, isn't it? It's a waste of both of our times.
I thought that was a
Okay.
suggestion.
So in the past, we've had different layers of compliance, if you will, that would tell you the obvious. Hey, you're missing the one thing that you know you're missing.
Look at it.
I'm not doing that. Guys, the state of Utah basically says you have to inform the brokerage of a contract. So if you enter into a buyer agency agreement, set up a file in command. You've now officially notified the brokerage. If
An
you
opportunity.
An opportunity, I'm sorry. What did I say?
You said file,
Oh,
but yeah.
I'm old school. Let me tell you what files were. Anyway, set up an opportunity. You've officially complied with the Division of Real Estate rules for notifying the brokerage, okay? But I don't necessarily need to go in there and tell you all the things that you know you don't have. They say required. So what we are doing right now, to save your time and my time, is as it gets closer to the about closing time, we'll go in and do a file review at that point in time and tell you the things that you need to fix or whatever. Because of that, you have to understand what the word required means, and you also have to understand fiduciary duties. Because I'm finding out after the fact that we're crossing the line on fiduciary duties when it's much more difficult to fix. Make sense? So you're doing paperwork right, we're doing good, solid business. I have very few struggles trying to get you guys paid on time, surprise. But I need your help. Submit the files. Opportunities, gosh darn it. Make sure they're submitted, but don't necessarily submit them for review until you've got something in there for us to review, okay?
So
Of course, it would be Fred.
Yeah, like put your contract in, the opportunity, right, when you get it. And then don't submit it to the brokers every time you put like something in. If you put an addendum in, you're gonna do, don't submit it every single time. Just submit it when you think that you have everything in there and everything is good to go. You've done your commission request, then submit it so it doesn't bog down the brokers and be like, okay, yeah, you're missing this, you're missing this.
Literally, guys, we were getting seller's disclosures, for example. Seller's disclosure, blank. We're sending back saying, hey, these aren't filled out. Then you're sending them back in, they're filled out. So now they need to be signed. Then you send it back in, husband signed them, now they go back to the wife. I've now looked at those same seller's disclosures 5 times, you're killing me. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Fred.
So I'd just like to put in a plug for Corey and Michelle and the transaction coordinator service. I was told a long time ago that my job is paperwork, but I don't have to do it, I just have to make sure it's right. And my job is to go out and do all that other stuff, and they do such a phenomenal job. It's just, I don't understand why people would not use a transaction coordinator, and specifically Michelle and Corey.
Yes,
You just go do your deal, right?
Yes.
You go out and do your deal and you have fun, and you take somebody to lunch and you make money, and they take care of all the paperwork, and then we don't have to talk to Dave.
Yeah, and that in and of itself is a bonus, I will tell you this, and Keller Williams, guys, is awesome, and you were talking here a minute ago about going to family reunion and some of the things. A lot of the stuff Keller Williams does is production based. You need to generate leads, you need to make contacts, you need to whatever. I'm on the other end of that hoop when now we have to do what we say we're going to do part of things. But the lead gen part of things and the motivational part of things, I think, is, to me personally, what Keller Williams is all about. The first time I went to a family reunion, they had a speaker up there, and I thought I was pretty cool because I came from a place with a balloon. But I'd been in real estate a while, and I had some success and all this kind of stuff, but I went to this family reunion, and the keynote speaker up there, his name was Nick Vujicic. Nick was an Olympic athlete, he's a scratch golfer, he's a multi-millionaire, he's a high diver, he's a swimmer, and I'm like, killer part about it, he was born with no arms and no legs. And he sat up there and he went through everything that he's gone through in his life, and the message was, if I can do it starting out like this, what's your excuse? And based on that, people get into this business to generate leads, and when you get really good at it, which a lot of our agents are really good at doing, there's the back door. You need to watch out for the people that you're in business with. That's the reason I'm happy to be in business with you.
Okay, moving on. Our own Josh Stern, come on up. How many in here are doing numbers that matter? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Numbers that matter, folks. If you're not, listen up. You need to be.
Well, yeah, thanks. Hey, Fred, how did your numbers that matter turn out?
This week or in general?
Well, you've only done, what, 3 or 4 of them, I think, at this point, right?
Started in January.
Started in January.
Started in January.
How many referrals have you gotten now from this, or appointments?
5 transactions, I think.
5 transactions.
Just from numbers that matter.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 transactions.
That's contracts written, checks I'm gonna get.
Right, I think once you had 11 referrals, it turned into like 7 appointments, turned into 5 contracts, all right?
Pretty close.
Okay, so what are the rest of you guys doing? All right, we'll work that out. Come see the principal after the class. Okay, so market stats, another great way for you guys to be keeping up with what's happening with the market, giving yourself some talking points on a week-to-week basis in terms of what's happening nationally and locally, the opportunities that are there as a result for buyers, the opportunities that are there as a result for sellers. And you can see this week I changed up the graph a little bit. At the top of the graph, I've just kind of put some bullet points up there that I think are useful for you guys to look at. But also, we're sitting at, like 45 weeks of data right now, so it's starting to get hard to look at. It's probably still hard to look at. But I've got it stretched out a little bit so we can see kind of better, timing. You can see in April, our listing inventory had started to go up, and it peaked out probably in June at some point. Then active inventory peaked out around the end of September and began to decline. And you can see here from the beginning of the year, it's starting to go up again. And so that's what we're gonna probably see through the rest of this year. I have a feeling that we're gonna probably have higher transaction volume as well. One of the things that I thought was kind of something to look at here is your under contracts. You can see under contracts are basically about as high as they've been since I started tracking this data for you. So you already have more people buying, putting properties under contract and buying homes right now than we did at the peak of last year. And that's really great news for you all because these transactions, are going to continue to happen throughout the summer, and it's probably going to be, as a result, a busier summer than what we've seen in the past. We will see a big bump in our sold listings when I report to you guys next week. Why is that? Anybody?
End of the month.
Thank you. End of the month, because most transactions tend to close at the end of the month. So if you look at your, I don't know where I put sold, you can always see these like little peaks here. All of these little peaks represent the end of a month, and the valleys usually represent the beginning of the month or a holiday season, because during the holidays, people really, they just kind of, they just climb up and stop buying. The one thing that's a bit reassuring for you guys, if we scroll down to the average days on market, is you guys have more time now than we had at any point last year to be able to negotiate with buyers, and we're coming off of this unicorn 2021, 2022, where your buyers had all of 2 seconds to think about whether or not they wanted to make an offer on a property, and oftentimes they were making an offer on a property and then they'd go see the property if they were lucky enough to get it under contract. Those days are gone for now, and that's great because now you can start having better negotiations with sellers in terms of terms, like getting buyer paid closing costs or concessions to buy down interest rates. You're not competing in as many multiple offers, but you're also going to see the average days on market start ticking down. And that is because our velocity right now, so the amount of homes that are becoming active in a 30-day period versus the amount of homes that are going under contract in a 30-day period are nearly equal, and that's an early start for us. Normally, we don't see that kind of data happen until mid-April or so. Why is that? Well, because you're seeing interest rates begin to lower. I think this week, the interest rates went down just below 6%, so it has a 5 handle for the first time in a very long time. So that's all good news for you. So what are some of the takeaways that I have on this? Is national pending sales, new listings, they're back to year-over-year growth with inventory up over 9% and mortgage rates, it says just over 6%, but I think as of yesterday, am I right, Amir, is it? Yeah, as of yesterday, it went down a little bit more. So good news for all the buyers out there. And good news for the sellers, because 80% of all home sellers are also what? Home buyers. Yeah, so this is working out real great. So while the inventory's been drifting up all year, we just saw the first significant stabilization in active listings. So we're sitting around 10,800 active listings. So that was creeping up real fast at the beginning of the year. It's beginning to slow down I would say, you know, if we look at the talking points on this, we might be hitting a temporary inventory ceiling in Utah while everyone expects a flood of homes in the spring. The weekly data is showing the listing growth is actually slowing just a little bit. Do you know why it slowed just a little bit last week? Any ideas? Any thoughts about why would the listing inventory actually slow down last week? Who said it?
I did.
Right on. You nailed it. Snow. Yeah. So, you know, all of these big snowstorms that the East Coast and the Midwest, and I guess the South for that matter, have been experiencing, that has actually taken down the national listing inventory numbers. And so sometimes you get the, you know, sellers might get the wrong perspective, you know, if they don't understand what causes these things to happen. And so in this case, we slowed down last week in terms of our listing inventory because of snow. This week, what is supposed to happen sometime today, tomorrow? Rain. Yeah, and so the likelihood is you're probably gonna have people be like, I'm gonna wait until the weather's nicer. That's a very logical seller thing to do, by the way. So seller opportunity, the narrowing price cut competition, and that is price cuts are starting to slow way down nationally and way down locally. That means I feel like we're just getting realistic again in terms of how we're putting and presenting a home on the market. So we're getting better at pricing. We're no longer stuck in the 2021, 2022, early 2022 mindset, those unicorn years of like, you know, put it up at a high price and get an even higher price. I think sellers now have a whole year of being more realistic, and I think as a result, real estate agents are also more trained and more realistic about pricing, and so we're not seeing as many discounts off of list price. So the discount window is closing nationally, fewer sellers are cutting prices than a year ago, and locally our sold numbers are holding firm for sellers. This means you don't have to race to the bottom on price anymore. The market has found its floor. That's great news. What's the buyer opportunity? The snowstorm rebound. This one is really small. It has to do with talking to Luminary, getting your buyers pre-qualified at a sub 6% rate. I'm sure they'll put up some even more attractive interest rates. But these recent snowstorms have created like a temporary kind of quiet period in Utah. So while the weather had kept some home buyers at home, the data shows the under contracts are already up 13% over last year. So this is literally, and I've been saying this for the last few weeks, but this is literally like the last call to get into a home before the post-storm demand surge finally kicks in. So another cool buyer opportunity here is what's called a mortgage spread. Mortgage spreads, have they improved, Luminary?
Yeah, it's a little bit of, it was over 2%, now we're closer to 1.9, 1.85.
Yeah, so, and do you, what's the normal 10-year spread to a 30-year interest rate?
2.25.
No, the normal's 1.7 to 1.8. So that's the normal 10-year spread to a 30-year interest rate. So for instance, if you looked at the 10-year yield and added 1.7 or to 1.8 to it, that's what your typical 30-year interest rate would be. However, we're at 1.9, which is down from what the banking crisis that we had. How high did they get?
It was 2.25.
2.25, right? So we're way down from where they were. So the interest rates could be a lot higher, but the 10-year, you know, the spread between the 10-year yield and the 30-year has improved so much, and it's been a real gift for buyers. And that's why we've seen as much of the stability as we have in the interest rates. So that's all good news. I put all of the national summary on there for you guys that want to take a look. The mortgage applications data, I don't know if we track it in Utah, but nationally the mortgage application data is like off the charts. Double-digit year-over-year gains, and last year we had double-digit year-over-year gains. So you're seeing this pent-up demand of buyers applying for mortgages, and that starts to flesh itself out in 30 to 90 days. So be aware, right now is a damn good time to invite your people to the Casino Royale night because they're gonna end up buying or selling something. That's what I got for this week.
Okay, we talked about this last week, for those of you that weren't here. This is Jason Abrams with KW, and I've heard him talk a couple of times, and pretty freaking amazing. So he's awesome. So they do have limited number of seats. If you want to scan that QR code, it is $35, includes lunch. And I know when I looked 3 nights ago, there were still seats available, so.
But I think they are selling very, very fast, and when people come back from family reunion, I'm sure they will be sold out. So I would definitely register for this.
It's Monday, April 13th from 9 to 12 at the Salt Lake Community College Free Enterprise Center right over in Sandy. Yes. Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm going to go off of this for just a second. Preliminary, if you'll wait just 1 minute. For those of you with KW Cares, we talked about Red Day, which is May 14th. I'm going to give you guys 2 emails you can send information to. Myself or Becky Harston. For Red Day, who knew what somebody raised their hand, and what did we talk about Red Day last week? Who are we helping?
Whoever we suggest.
Exactly. So this is where we need your help. If you will contact, it's a perfect way to talk to your database. Not only do you want to talk to them about Casino Royale, but while you're talking to them about that, ask them, who do they know that needs help? Do they know someone who needs something fixed in their yard? Red Day is our day of community service, closing down the offices, and we will be helping, we're hoping to at least have about 4 to 8 different groups that we can divide and conquer. It could be a charity that you want to help, or it could be an individual. I know that in the past they've done like new roofs on somebody's home, air conditioners, just different things like that. So we're trying to make it to where it's not just a charity based, but local community members. And what better way than finding your own, I mean, you may have somebody in your own SOI that needs help. So all of those need to be into us by the 14th of March. And the KW Cares Committee will be going over which ones we will be helping, and then that will be announced at the, if we can get it done by that team meeting on the, I think it's the 16th or 17th of March, we will. If not, it will be the following week that you will all know who we will be helping. So there's the emails. If you want to come up after team meeting and screenshot and send it to us, that would be perfect. Okay, now Luminary.
Thanks, guys. Okay, I know you guys are hungry, so we'll go quick. This was really cool. I was looking at the 10-year treasury and wanted to, this is a 6-month picture of what the 10-year is doing. I know it's gonna be confusing. Don't get too caught up in like the little, what you see. What the big picture is, that straight line is where we're averaging. We've been like holding steady at that spot, and that really relates to what Josh is saying, where rates have been holding steady at that 4.1 section, and that's why, you know, rates are just right at 6% or right under 6%. National average is a little over 6%. It's in that range. Luminary is a lot more aggressive than the national average, but what's unique is showing how much that 10 years moved down just in the last 3 weeks. It really sets up kind of what we're talking about for first quarter. So we're seeing a huge uptick in mortgage applications. There isn't specific data for Utah, but I can extrapolate from our own company because we've been doing this for so many years. I can see what's coming. When our January and February look like this, the rest of the year is pretty explosive. So there's a lot of momentum that's happening that you guys should be talking to your clients, should be talking to your sphere of influence, asking for referrals. Right now is really the time. If you go to the next slide. That's where the mortgage-backed securities are. And the same point here, the higher on the graph, actually it's better for us. The higher on the graph means rates are actually lower. And you can see there's a bunch of spots we're kind of pushing to get over these thresholds. That's really setting up. We feel like next week we have some jobs numbers coming up, revisions from last month. We could see another drop in rates where we'll probably be closer by the end of the year. I still think we're going to be in that 5.6, 5.5 range by the end of the year, but how fast that comes is the question. So a lot of momentum in that direction. If you go to the next slide. This is kind of, this is how I feel when people bring this up. I don't know how you feel, but what the hell, right? We always talk a little bit about what's going on in the social media aspects. So you guys have the understanding a little bit for how to respond and relate it to what you're talking about. So Supreme Court canceled the tariffs that were initially placed. The administration turned around immediately and placed a new tariff in there. Where does that all fall into play with what's going on? It actually had a minimal effect on the bond market. Not as much as you would expect. We saw equities take a huge hit yesterday. So equities means like companies and where they sit, but that's usually because of uncertainty. Uncertainty hits those type of things and they don't like that. As far as the bond market is concerned and mortgages, tariffs are inflationary, so they're not really working for us. But within all this mix, I think it only moved about 2% from where it was before. So he created all these tariffs, they took those away, but he immediately placed this new tariff on there, and that's just there. And the question is, are these small companies going to be able to recoup what they've paid in tariffs so far? There's a lot of mess around it. For you guys, make sure that your clients don't get all messed up and think, oh, I usually get the conversations I get from stuff like this is the economy is going to the pooper, house prices are about to fall. That is not the case. And if your clients are having that conversation with you, you have to have that knowledge to kind of counter back to that. In fact, the tariffs are still in place. The new tariffs are exactly the same. And actually, today we had appreciation data on what's happening in the market, which is closer to over 2.5% is what we had year over year right now. There's a lot of appreciation coming. And as mortgage rates drop, and you're seeing it in your data, you're seeing how those sales are changing, you're seeing all that momentum change. If you have less price reductions, more inventory out, that's appreciation. That's what appreciation is. Less price reductions equals appreciation. So I don't think that you should let this noise, that's really what it feels like, right? Don't let it distract you from the overall thing. Go to the next one. This is really where we're sitting. We've been doing this whole month, we've been talking about first-time home buyers, and we've been sitting in this, what type of down payment they have, what type of things. So I wanted to just organize it for you in general. There is financing options. If you have 0 down payment, conventional financing options, if you have a 3% down payment, there's USDA loans. I don't know how many of you work outside of Salt Lake County, but if you just go over to Grantsville, you go north of Ogden, you go south of Payson, and if you're going east, then anywhere in the Wasatch area, all that is USDA approved. Those are 100% financing opportunities. In fact, you can go pretty high loan amounts too. Those are underserved areas. Maybe some of you new agents are considering, like, where am I going to get my niche? How am I going to get that component? Underserved areas is a big part of what we have. Satellite offices in Vernal, we have people in St. George, and they experience a good momentum just because there's less competition. So if you're thinking to yourself, I want to go out into these rural areas and maybe get some of those deals as well, there's a lot of benefit on the finance. Come talk to Tori or Crystal, and they'll help you kind of figure out how that works. In fact, if you go to the next slide, do you want to talk about this? Crystal?
I do. You guys, this is a great talking point. We actually have a 3.5% grant that's an FHA. So if you're talking to your buyers, if they're like, oh, we don't have a down payment saved up, mention to them, hey, there is a 3.5% grant out there. Do you have the qualifications on there?
I didn't have it.
You guys, you don't even have to be a first-time home buyer. I think the credit score is 640. As long as you served some sort of service area, you qualify for this 3.5% grant. It is a huge, huge talking point. Use it with your first-time home buyers or anybody that says, you know what, I just don't have a down payment right now. And then we'll explain all the details to your clients. But yeah, it's
Are these tied to cities?
No,
No.
no, it's FHA. So if it's FHA qualified, you're good to go.
Yeah, so Utah housing is probably the most popular 0 down in Utah that people use. The real difference is Utah Housing is a second mortgage. They have another payment. They end up owing 105% of the value of the property, right? They end up financing more than what the property is actually worth. This is a grant where they're not going to be in a situation that they owe more than what the property's worth. And after 6 months, it's forgiven. They can refinance. We've done them. They can refinance out. So.
And it's great, you know, with you at Utah Housing, it's hard to refinance these clients. They're in that loan for a long time. So this is a great alternative.
Just need some clothes and go. Sorry, go on to the next one. Here's where our rates are right now. Like I was saying, Josh had mentioned this is kind of where your points sit. 5.625 on conventional only costs a 1.5 on average. That's huge. That's a really, really aggressive. VA rates are still really low, 5.125 with paying a 1.5. These are numbers that we're seeing on a regular basis as people are coming in as far as seller paid. So if you're getting 2 to 2.5% in seller pays, your clients can enjoy very, very aggressive rates. Even if they don't go that down, we're just increasing a little bit from here. And our KW special is still sitting at that 4.875. This FHA special will continue through the next month, through March, and then we're going to do something different. So any client that gets approved with us for an FHA loan between now and March 31st will get this lower deal. So we'll make sure that
I'm going to add, not with down payment assistance, you guys. They have to have a 3.5% down.
Yeah, that's, yes.
Yes.
What about on refinance for any of those up there?
Good question. Our refinance rates are actually a little bit lower, so you can take about 1/8% on the rate lower, between 1/8 to 1/4 on most. So as a company, we kind of made a decision to make a little bit less money on most of our refinance rates, and also we're a wholesale broker, meaning we work with a lot of wholesale banks, and we can navigate their systems. The banks are actually, some banks are like, I want to get a lot of those streamlines in. That's FHA refinances for those who don't know. Some of them want to get those conventional ones in. We navigate that system for your clients, and we typically are able to get them a very aggressive refinance. We're doing some sphere of influence touches right now with some of you guys. If you're curious about what we can do to help you touch your database on the refinance side, this is something that leads for you guys to referrals as well. Come talk to Crystal or Tori, and they'll be happy to help.
Wants and needs. Anybody have any wants and needs? So we've got a couple of them back there. I'll really quick, I've got 3 pieces of land coming up in Fruitland. I believe they're 30 acres. Those should be coming up in the next week or so. And also a 5-acre lot down in Panguitch that will also be coming on. So apparently I'm going to be the land queen this year.
So tomorrow I've got a property coming on the market. It's a 4-plex, 370 East Sherman in Sugar House, about 1330 South, $1,025,000. It's a good price. It's a good unit, mostly rehab. So if you know of any investors or individuals who'd like to live in one unit and rent out the others, that's an option. I also have another one coming out tomorrow in Bountiful, 3,000 square foot Rambler 2-car garage in a really great neighborhood. I'm getting a lot of calls on that one already. That one's at $650, and I have 2 other ones coming the following week, but we'll talk about those later. I am not a social media person, meaning I don't do Insta, Reels, any of the other words that I don't know, because I don't deal with them. But I've got a subdivision of new construction with 4 units left. If anybody's wanting to do some social on my properties, will you see me after this meeting, please? And you can take over marketing those.
Hi, I've got, our team has a listing coming up on 14th South and 10th East. 4-bed, 2-bath, and a garage for $750 if anybody has a buyer. And also we are looking for some open house help on that on Sunday. If you want to come talk to me.
So I have a listing coming up this week, we hope, should be ready. It's a project, a little bit of a project house, 3,600 square feet, approximately 21st east and about 3,200 south on almost a half acre. Salt Lake, yeah, up in Mill Creek. And has an ADU unit now already existing that's rented out, and 2-car garage should be pretty good. I'm thinking 7 to 750 because of the work.
Good morning. I'm still looking for 2 multi-tenant warehouses around the 10,000 square foot range. But this week while I was looking, I came across someone that would sell their 30,000 square foot warehouse. So if you know of anyone who is looking for an investment property around a 6 cap, probably around 5.5 million, I'd love to speak with you.
Hey everyone, if we haven't met yet, I'm Val and I'm on the ALC Wellness Committee. So I just want to let everyone know we have a hike coming up the first Sunday of every month, which happens to be this coming Sunday. So our hike this month, we are taking a quick loop up on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. It's about 4 miles and it's relatively flat. I was up there the other day. Not a lot of snow because it's a south-facing slope, so it gets a lot of sun. If you're looking for an easy hike to just get out there on a Sunday afternoon and kind of enjoy yourself, this is a great opportunity. Come meet some of the other agents, bring your family, and just have a good time.
What time and where do they meet them?
Thank you. Great questions, Lee. It's going to be 3 p.m. and we're meeting at Popperton Park. If you guys have any questions about how to get there or what it's going to be like or anything, I'll be around for a couple hours or somebody here can toss you a number.
You want to come up?
Travis, would you like to make your way up here? So our preferred partner, Spotlight, is VIP Roofing, and yes, he brought lunch.
Thank you for having us. First time I've been in this office, so we've dealt with the Mill Creek office for a number of years and had to put up with the likes of Lee and Josh and those guys. But no, I really don't. Other than introduce ourselves, we're a preferred vendor. We've been a preferred partner with you guys for a number of years, and we do greatly appreciate it. Whoever's spearing up, is that Zach?
Zach and
Melanie.
But I don't see them.
Okay. Whoever with Red Day, please reach out to us. We do like to be very involved with that. So don't hesitate.
I will do it.
Pardon me? Yeah, let us know.
I was like, this Melanie will.
Okay, so, and other than introduce ourselves, so the gentleman had to leave, we've hired somebody else to kind of help us out, and he's made a huge difference on being able to, especially roofing issues that you guys are coming across with your inspection reports, and I think most of you are fairly aware of what the roofing industry did to the insurances in Utah over the last handful of years, and a lot of you guys are kind of having to deal with it with a lot more roof replacements as opposed to just doing repairs and getting you a certificate for 2 to 3 years. If you're not aware, the insurances companies are not insuring a lot of roofs. So buyers are buying the home and then going to get their insurance and it's not being insured because the roof is over 15 years old. There's a few things we've done. We can go out and do inspections, do a picture report, saying, hey, this roof's got X number of years. If there was any rhyme or reason what the insurance companies do, I could help share that with you, but I don't, other than let us at least get the report to you and say, hey, this has got 7, 8, 10, whatever number of years. And a lot of times the insurance go, okay, that will work. But if we're seeing anything less than 5 or 7 years left in a roof, we're seeing a lot of roofs having to be replaced. The insurances are not insuring the home. And unfortunately, these brand new home buyers are kind of holding the bill. Or I think it's been happening long enough that a lot of you guys have stepped in to help negotiate those costs with the sellers and whatnot. So,
wasn't a roof cert usually 3 years? Am I hearing you say it's now 5 or 7?
traditionally, it was 2 to 3 years is all a lot of you guys required. The insurance agents, the insurance companies, anything. If I go and say, hey, you got 3 years left of it, they're not going to insure it. And you can thank the door knockers, the storm chasers, the dudes that used to sell solar, the dudes that used to sell pest control, the dudes that used to sell fill in the blank. We had a huge influx of out-of-state roofing coming into Utah from the storms. And when all the insurance was going bonkers, we had a whole bunch of our beloved brethren from south of the point of the mountain starting up all these little quick companies that have no clue what they're doing roofing wise, but going out and just taking advantage of insurance. To give you a quick story, but one of our really good custom home builders called me and said, hey Travis, my neighbor just did the roof, I apologize, I didn't get him in touch with you. The roofer charges the insurance $91,000 for a new roof. He sent me all the information, what it was, the maximum I could even charge was about $53,000. It was a big, beautiful custom home. But that's what these roofing companies were doing with the insurance, and that's why the insurance has come back so hard. They're doing a lot of, when there's a warranty claim, they're only doing it based on depreciated value, where previously they were doing it based on full replacement values. So there's a number of things out there. If you have questions, give us a call. Yeah, Lee.
So Travis, I had heard from somebody, and I don't know if this is ugly rumor or true fact, that a lot of the insurance companies are now, before they go and insure a house, sending out a drone over the house and looking at the roof with cameras.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're trying to do the best they can, right? A lot of the homes in the newer neighborhoods, Riverton, South Road, places like that, they can look up when their home was built. And said, okay, Lee's selling this home to Joe. The home was built in 2003. It's due for a new roof, and they're going to say no. And they can do. But I don't want to all doom and gloom. There's been a lot of times where we've gone out and done an inspection. Here's some pictures. Here's some information. We feel that this roof has 7 to 8 years left in it. Okay, we'll insure you.
So the other thing I was gonna say is, not only does Travis do a great job of replacing roofs, he's done a lot of those for me. What I love the most about Travis is my inspection situation. So something comes in, and you and I all know we've got 72 hours, or 48 hours, or 3 days, whatever it is, to get a second opinion, to get a professional to look at it, and decide whether I've really got a problem or not, and what it's gonna cost. Travis and his team honestly get that done every single time for me, and then they end up doing the repairs, getting the fixes done. But the timing is so critical at that point, and they are, based on any other kind of business, they're the only ones that every time it happens, I go, no problem, Mrs. Travis, okay, got it. Because he can work within that short little window. So that, you've saved my butt and my clients all the time for years and years, and I appreciate that.
And we think that, and thank you for that. Like I said, we hired Jake to come help us with those kinds of things. Our two main field managers, they are very well versed in inspecting your roofs, checking things out. But I'll be honest with you, 70% of the time, most of you guys have sent me inspection reports. I can pretty good idea just off of looking at the inspection report. And if we need to go out and do a site visit, we'll arrange time to get out there for you and take a look at it. So, and like I said, it's not everything needs to be replaced. We're just seeing an influx of and needing to because of what's happened with the insurances and the fly-by-night roofing companies. Any other questions I can answer for you? Enjoy your lunch, guys. Thank you.
Hey, will everybody make sure that they pass their little
Yeah, if you filled it out.
To the left here, and we'll just gather them up real quick.
Just kind of, even the blank ones, just send them all to this side of the room and we'll gather them up. Thanks for coming today, and we are gonna have tech time with Jeff.
Yes, and then Lexi is also gonna be doing like Q&A for the cappers for the marketing.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, have a good day.